Yes, and welcome to the silly stinking hot summer's day garden, folks. Third day, fourth day in summer, and we hit 34 degrees. And in here, in this little courtyard, I'm in Coburg, if you haven't worked it out. So I reckon it's about 38, maybe 40, if not more. I haven't got a thermometer, but yeah, it's about 40 degrees. Well, Ray's Garden Bits, once a week we come to inspect our tomatoes. Have a look at this, hey? Have a look at this. We've been hydrating this plant, but unfortunately, I reckon the roots are still too small for the amount of growth we got on top. So it's jumping out of the ground and the roots are still trying to grow to establish. What the problem is here is we've had a fluctuation in temperature, and a lot of you will probably have experienced this as well. From cold weather, and obviously I'm talking about Victoria-based folks, for others in the other states, we've gone from 17 degrees, 15, 18 degrees to 34 degrees. And tomorrow we're dropping down back to 18. Plus, we've got this, I don't even know if it's a northwesterly or southwesterly wind that's coming through. It swirls around. Now we've got another cloud cover, or whatever you call that, that's blocking the sun. But that fluctuation in temperature is causing these plants, for their microclimate, to be unacclimatized, I suppose. That's the word to use. They're not used to it. It's like us. You walking down the street on a cold summer's day, well, it could be summer, it could be any time of the year, walking down the street like 18 degrees temperature, you walk in normally. If it's 12 degrees, you cuddle up like this. If it's 29 or 39 degrees, you walk around like this. That's your reaction, natural body reaction to the heat that you're experiencing. It is the same with plants. This plant is now wilting, because it needs that sap flow to get to the top there, the water, the moisture. You can see all this is vibrant. This is new growth. It's not even a couple of days old. That's how fast it's grown, and it's been hit hard by the heat. Next to that is that we've got a lot of foliage down below. When you get to it, this is clean, actually. This is very clean foliage. I haven't gone in to thin it out yet. Normally, as your plants grow, and as I said that before with your tomatoes, you thin them out. See this little growth there? I don't need that to grow anymore. But now I'm looking at this and thinking, well, am I going to cut this off today? I'm going to sit on this and see how it is tomorrow morning when it's only 12 degrees. See if it's propped up again. See what sort of damage has occurred to it. Have a look at this one on this side. It's far less wilt on it. Okay? There's wilt on this leaf here, but it's not that bad. It's its reaction of its natural protection. Now, if it wilts to the point where it doesn't recover, we have to remove it. We don't have to do it right now, but today's perfect weather for pruning tomatoes. Second to that, the amount of dense foliage that we have going through the middle here. It's good, but we need some sunlight now to get in here to allow the fruit to ripen properly. Now, I can snap these off by hand. No, I can't. It's still too succulent. So, prune them off, folks. Thin out the foliage, not all of it. Overlapping branches like that. That's where your problems start to occur. We've got no septorial leaf spot. I know lots of you are experiencing that, and you need to get rid of them. So suckers coming out, thinning out, less foliage on top, better circulation, more sap flow to where you want it at the new growth. So we're going to thin this out. 3 branches. 1, 2, 3. And we've got lots of laterals coming on. See that? I don't need that now. Get rid of that. Pocket pruners, something small like that. Nice and easy, nice and clean, easy to prune off. You can snap them off like that sideways and take it off like that, folks. But make sure you don't tear it off. Otherwise you'll find you'll open up a wound there and it won't heal. And why I say today is a perfect day to prune, the hotter the weather, the better it heals. The quicker it heals, the less likelihood of disease getting in. Come down here now. See this foliage in here? That's stopping the airflow. We cut it off, get rid of it. See this one here? It's a new sucker that's come up. And the bottom leaf, see down here? I'm just going to cut it straight off, like that, remove it. And that's going to help all our understory plants. Look, another sucker on this side, and another one on here, and it's got flowers coming on. Maybe we'll leave that there. Look, a little cluster of flowers down the bottom. How many flowers can you possibly have on one plant? You want to do a quick count? Wait, let me thin it out. And remember, before we count the flowers, so that's what we're going to do here, I'm going to just go back to why I'm taking the leaves off so you can get a better understanding of it. A, We don't need the leaves at the bottom because they're there purely for protection of the fruit. So they cast a shadow over the fruit a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, enough to keep them, well and hydrated. Second to that, we need more sap flow to go to the top. So we don't want it sucking out all the moisture and keeping itself hydrated. As good as the leaves are, we want the airflow and we want to get the growth to go to the top. So we remove the bottom leaves because there's no fruit down here. Have a look. No fruit down at the bottom, just over here. And we've still got enough canopy here to protect the fruit that's coming through. Now, we have lots of suckers coming up. Time to get rid of these. Have a look at this. We've got to tie this one up, and just to hold it up like that. Single knot. And I've got another shoot on this side here. Not a shoot. Another shoot on here, on this side here. This one here, I don't want to lose that. I want to actually keep it because we've got heaps of flowers coming on. Look at that. 1 per cluster, 2 clusters. But let's start in here and see what's going on. All right, so we've got a little cluster of fruit here. 1, 2, 3, 4 coming on. I don't know if those flowers will continue anyway, but come up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all these little ones here too. Look at that, setting fruit. Another cluster over here of flowers, and I'm going to get rid of that leaf. Look at that bunch there, but there's also another bunch on this side here, setting fruit. Okay, now that's there. Let's go around the other side. A little bunch of fruit here, 4 or 5 in there, and then on this side here, we've got more coming on too, and it's pushing on a leaf. So we've got some strong growth going on. I reckon there'd be at least 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 tomatoes properly set on this one here. It's a big plant. They haven't grown big fruit yet, but we've got to be patient and we've got to prune. So remove all the suckers, thin out for septoria leaf spot, folks. It is it's a very, very bad case this time of the year. A lot of people have been complaining, and all I can advise you to do is get rid of all the infected leaves, and if it's on the stem as well, get rid of the plant or cut it below to green growth, fresh growth, and wash your tools once you finish. And if you need to, add mulch now. As the weather warms up, although we're going back into cold weather, but if the weather stabilises and for you folks in the northern parts of Australia or the warmer regions, make sure you mulch your garden bed. 2 or 3 inch layer of mulch is adequate to keep the moisture in and keep the plants cool. And that way your plants don't get stressed out when it gets too hot and you don't have to water as much. Check your soil for moisture. Stick your finger in the ground and see if it's wet underneath. If it's not, hydrate it and mulch it. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com, for all the great products you need for your garden, especially blackberry. Check out the specials. I nearly lost my voice talking about it. vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili Maresi.